Good morning, grade fours. Today we are continuing on with patterns. There are 3 pages of work today, and I am going to give you 2 days to do it. I know some of you will finish it quite quickly, but others are going to need a bit more time. If you finish quickly, remember you can always work on a passion project, some of the other assignments for the day. You can work on some illustrations for your fractured fairy tale. You could do some research into the sun. We're talking about the sun this week in science and also in one of your readings. So you can look at some other things. But I'm giving you 2 days to do the 3 pages. There's lots of little assignments there, and I know some folks will get it done like that, and other folks are going to need a bit more time. So I don't want to get anybody overwhelmed. So we're continuing on with patterns. So far we've been doing patterns that have all been increasing and then all been decreasing, talking about number patterns here. So we've been looking at patterns like this, where we have 4, 8, 12, 16, and we can say we're adding 4, adding another 4, adding another 4, and we can assume this continues on forever. Our pattern rule is start at 4, add 4 each time. Sometimes you get a group of numbers and they don't always do the same thing. And as you get into higher grades, you're going to be doing patterns that are multiplying each time, or adding 2, then adding 3, then adding 4, then adding 5. So patterns aren't always super easy to find out. Sometimes you really have to think about them. Today in our homework, for the first part, it's just seeing, am I adding or am I subtracting? So the first page, I think a lot of you are going to go really quickly. You don't need to tell me how much you're adding or subtracting. Just, am I adding? Is the number getting larger? Or am I subtracting? Am I taking something away and the number getting smaller? So if I had something like 6, 9, 7, 11, there's no real pattern here. But I am adding for this one, then I am subtracting, and then I'm adding. So for the first page, you're just looking at the numbers in the patterns, and you're telling me, are they going up? Am I adding? Or are they going down? Am I subtracting? Or is it doing a little bit of both? Like this one's doing both. I'm adding and subtracting. Some of them will just be adding. Some of them will just be subtracting. On the second page, you need to tell me, how much is it going up by? Am I adding 4 or 3? So if I had this one and I needed to tell you how much, this is on the second page, read your instructions, it's all in there. I would say, well, I'm adding 3 here, then I'm subtracting 2, I'm adding 4. There's no real pattern here, but I'm just checking to see the difference between the numbers, just to get you into the habit of checking patterns to see. Sometimes it's easy to look at the first number and go, okay, I'm adding 3 each time. But it's important to look at 3 or 4 numbers to really understand what a pattern's doing. Don't get in the habit of just looking at the first one and saying, great, I got it. I know what I'm doing. Because it may be a funky pattern, a weird pattern that goes up and down, may go adding and subtracting or multiplying. Okay? And then the last page, you're describing the pattern. So first you have to figure out what's happening. Am I adding and I'm subtracting? How much am I adding each time? How much am I subtracting? Make sure you fill in each of those bubbles so you know, yes, it's doing this every time. There is a pattern. Because some of them, there won't be a rule. One of these, it says one sequence doesn't have a rule. You need to figure out what it is. Some of them you need to find out all the gaps between the numbers, and you'll go, there's nothing really happened. Like this one, there's no real no real rule here. I don't know what the next number is going to be. I don't know, because it's not increasing or decreasing by a certain amount, or it's not predictable. So you're going to write patterns. Remember, pattern rules always have start at. Okay, please put that into your pattern rules. Start at, what number am I starting at? For this one, it would be 4. And then what are you doing? Then I'm adding, I'm looking up for this one here. I'm adding 4, and then each time I know that in your homework they don't have this. They don't expect you to do each time, but I want you to get in the habit of saying each time because it's happening again and again and again and again. So I would like you to do all of the questions, even the ones that say to do on the paper where you have to create your own patterns here. And I would like you to do them all. And there's 3 pages. Like I said, this is Monday and Tuesdays. Wednesdays, we're doing another thing on patterns. Thursdays, I'm going to give you a review. And then Friday, I'm trying to find some online way I can do a quick little quiz with you. Because if I have to give you a quiz and then you have to turn it in and mark it, it's going to be complicated. But if I could do maybe a Kahoot where you could do it at your own time and you can just tell me the answers, that might be a good way to assess your patterns. So I will let you know more by Friday. That's my job for this week, is to figure out how I can give you a little quiz on patterns. Well, have a great day. I hope you've enjoyed the sunshine. It's just fantastic. I love it when the sun is out. Have a great day. I will talk to you later.